Hi, it's Ashleigh from Sweet Dreams Bake Shop, and welcome back to my channel where I make a lot of cake and cookie decorating tutorials as well as give a lot of baking business tips. And today I thought I would do a really simple cupcake decorating tutorial because it occurred to me that I really haven't done too many of these, and I am keeping all of the piping today in real time. Now don't worry that we've missed a few of those steps there. Basically what I'm using today are two different tips. I'm using a 1M tip as well as a French tip, and both of these are great for cupcake decorating. This is the French tip right here, and it will come in a lot of varying sizes. This one is great because it actually gives you a pretty good amount of coverage on the cupcake, which is what you're looking for. Basically, a French tip is going to create little ridges in your buttercream, a lot more than the 1M tip will. This is the 1M tip here, and I generally like to use these when I'm making rosettes or when I'm just piping a classic cupcake. Now let's talk about the type of piping bag that you should be using. So basically you're going to cut open the bottom of your piping bag and you're going to place your tip inside. Either the 1M, the French tip, or whatever other tip that you will be using. Now some people like to use the piping bags that you can use over and over again. I personally haven't gotten a lot of success with those, not because it doesn't pipe just as beautifully, but because I always seem to find that there is residue left behind that I can't get out. You are using really high ratios of butter in this. I also find it's the same thing when I try to do it with macarons as well, so I find just using a disposable piping bag is a lot easier. Now let's talk about different types of buttercreams. So in this particular video, I'm using an American buttercream, but I will often use Italian meringue buttercream. I find in terms of the piping portion, whenever I use my Italian meringue buttercream recipe, it always works really well for this type of piping. The American buttercream is super easy to make, but it can sometimes be a little bit difficult to get to the exact right texture. So it's completely up to you. American buttercream is a little bit sweeter as well, but Italian meringue buttercream is a little bit more involved in terms of how you're actually making it. I will put the tutorial for my American buttercream up in the right-hand corner. When it comes to dyeing your buttercream, I always suggest that you use a gel color. This will give you the most concentrated color. And I have a little confession to make about my gray buttercream here. So gray buttercream is actually not my first choice for this, but I had some espresso buttercream left over, so I decided I didn't want all of these cupcakes brown, so I added a little bit of black to that buttercream, and then it turned this gray color, and I decided to just roll with it, and I went with a blue and a white to try to complement that. And finally, let's talk about the different types of toppings that you can put on your cupcakes. So today I'm using some edible glitter. I love this brand, really produces a beautiful glittery color. I'm also using some sixlets, which are the large blue sprinkles. Those are basically chocolate inside. And I'm using these silver rods, which I technically found out aren't considered completely edible. I have eaten them. It's basically a piece of raw pasta inside. So while I don't encourage you to eat raw pasta on the regular, it really is perfectly fine to consume, and you can always tell people to take it off, or you don't have to use those either. And then finally, I'm using these dragées on top, which are espresso flavored. And the gold flake that I used on this is actually a cheaper version of gold flake. It's not even real gold flake, which you can use and I use often, but it's actually pieces of edible paper that are just kind of airbrushed or dusted with a gold luster dust. If you want to get fancy, you can also add on these royal icing flowers. Now I made these myself and I have a tutorial right in the right hand corner that you can check out so you can learn how to make these, but you can also purchase these as well. Especially for a beginner, this really makes your dessert pop without having to do a lot of extra work. And then go ahead and package them up to make it even look more professional. Or you can put these in a box, whatever you like. I just happen to have a lot of these clamshell containers that somebody gifted to me. The trick to cupcake decorating is just to really make sure that you have full coverage, and I really love that doing little designs like this all over your cupcake really help out create that full coverage look without making it topped too high if you don't like a lot of frosting on there. Now let's get into the subscriber submission of the video. This just looks absolutely delicious. It looks like a little bit of a semi-naked cake with our Oreos on top, so be sure to go and drop them a like and drop them a comment. And if you want to be the next featured subscriber submission of the video, then please follow me at SD Bake Shop on Instagram, where you can either tag me in a photo or send me a photo. Any and all dessert levels are welcome. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you can be part of the Sweetie fam. Right now, I'm uploading weekly, so make sure you hit that notification bell so you know when I upload. Also, be sure to comment, request, or ask a question. I love hearing from you guys. Bye.
my mom.